Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about something you're going to find fascinating, and that's called the Bhrigu point. And the Bhrigu point is essentially something easy for you to figure out in your birth chart. And what it is actually called is the destiny point. That's why you're going to want to know what the Bhrigu point is, because it really does tell you something very important concerning your future, your destiny, why you came into this birth, which that's what we all want to know, who we are, why we're here, what's the purpose, what's our destiny. That is so important and so fascinating to know about all of us. All of us have a different destiny, and that is determined, one of the ways you can determine it, this isn't the only way, but one of the ways is to figure out where your Bhrigu point is in your chart. So before I continue on, I do want to remind everyone I'm so excited about my Patreon page coming out. If you want my services all bundled and at an incredibly economical price, you're going to want to look into this. So I'm going to launch it on October 20th. So get ready. And once it's launched, you can sign up, be a member. You can even get discounts on my beautiful spiritual jewelry. These have all the planets as they drape in earrings, as well as the moon, the sun, and it's getting close to the holidays. These make beautiful gifts. So check it out. You'll get discounts on my jewelry through my Patreon page. And remember, if you haven't signed up for my free newsletter, this is where you're going to know where everything's happening. And of course, all of my predictions delivered to your email. So go to galacticcenter.org. All right, talking about the Bhrigu point, which is the destiny point. It is actually the midpoint between Rahu and the moon. But the way that it is calculated is you take the longitude of the moon and you add it with the longitude of Rahu, and then you divide it by 2, and the number remaining is your degree point. So, but remember this, it is not between Rahu and the moon, but between the moon and Rahu. Okay, so you're going to be adding this between the moon and Rahu. But hey, if you have an astrological program, it's going to give you this point anyway. And I use Parashara's light. It gives you the Bhrigu point. So none of this questioning whether you got it right or not. So once you do know the Bhrigu point, the destiny point, remember this comes from Naughty Astrology. And you know where it is. What house it's in is imperative and gives you so much information about your destiny. So I'm going to go through all the 12 houses to give you an idea what your destiny is. But another thing is, if you have natal planets conjunct this Bhrigu point, this will empower these planets, and whatever that planet is about is going to give you more information about your destiny. But I'll tell you a little trick that truly, truly works is if you watch the transiting planets, and the transiting planets are of course where the planets are currently and where they're continually moving through the heavens. And as they move, they will go through all 12 signs in a certain amount of time, depending on what the planet is. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus pretty much go through all 12 signs in 1 year. And Mars takes 2 years. Saturn takes almost 30 years, Jupiter 12. So, but if you can track these planets, figure out where they are, when they conjunct the Bhrigu point, an event happens. It really does create some type of opportunity in terms of your destiny. But if it's a difficult planet, such as a natural malefic, such as, what are the natural malefics? Saturn, Mars, Rahu, Ketu, but sometimes Rahu can give, but usually with a price, if you know what I mean. It's like you may get famous, but it's a big hassle. That's what Rahu does. So, but those are considered, and even the sun is considered a weak malefic, meaning difficult planet. When they cross over the Bhrigu point, they can cause problems, okay? So they cause issues and problems, the malefics. But when a benefic planet, which are the benefics, Venus, Jupiter, and Mercury, and I consider the moon pretty benefic, but there's stipulations on that, whether it's bright or dark, all that kind of stuff. But I consider most of the time the moon being very benefic too. So you're going to want to look at, but the moon's going to go through the whole chart every month. So it's not going to make a major change in your life, needless to say. It just may be, you know, a daily activity that could be notable, something a little different in the day. But that's not going to be life-changing. Let me put it that way. But let me put it this way. Saturn crossing over the Bhrigu point will cause difficulty, where Jupiter crossing over the Bhrigu point will give a great opportunity. So that's if you know where the planets are transiting, going over the Bhrigu point. But let's talk about, because all of you have your Bhrigu point in one of the houses. So let's go through all 12 of the signs and determine what is part of your destiny through the Bhrigu point. So if you have the Bhrigu point in your first house, then this means you are an initiator. You are somebody that can make things happen on your own. You don't really need other people to do things. You are independent, you are a pioneer, and you're probably going to be the first to do something. And you like to get it done. This is all about you, your own self-development, your own confidence, who you are. This is your destiny, that you're meant to do things for yourself on your own and independently, and you are definitely somebody who knows who you are. This is one of your gifts, to know who you are, know what you love, go for it, achieve it. That's powerful, because you are, in accordance, your own bearer of your own destiny. You can create it, in other words. That's a really powerful placement. So if your Bhrigu point sits in the second house, the second house deals with finances and money. So it can mean, yes, you can be gifted with the ability to make a lot of money. Another one of your destiny points would be your voice, what you say, how you speak to other people, as well as maybe even singing, if that's one of the things you like to do. But your voice, whether it's singing or speaking, is powerful. People are going to listen when you speak. That's one of your destiny. Your points of destiny is your voice. Now, another thing, the second house is your family. So this can be your destiny comes through wealth from your family that's given to you. Something to do with inheritance, family support, family just taking care of you. Now remember, if you have a negative planet conjunct the Bhrigu point, it can change the energy, such as Saturn being with the Bhrigu point in the second house could mean some problems with the families, cause some problems in your destiny. That's your destiny, to have to go through that experience, you see, with your family. But all by itself, the Bhrigu point in the second house gives the power of the voice, very charismatic voice, and money, and great things that come from family. If your Bhrigu point is in the third house, then everything to do with your communication skills are fantastic, and maybe even something to do with teaching others, giving to others through teaching, but also through the internet, or anything to do with how we connect to other people. That's one of your gifts. So the media, internet, social media, anything that connects people, and even through travel, through short distance, but traveling, or maybe your destiny, things that are meant to happen that bring you greatness, could come through a brother or sister. in the 3rd house, okay? So if your Bhrigu point sits in the 4th house, your wealth, your destiny could come through your mother. Or you will have great real estate. Destiny comes through real estate, property, land. And another thing is just simply through your family and the cohesiveness and the security that you feel through family that connects you and gives you your destiny. If your Bhrigu point sits in the 5th house, then you have got some great karma from a past life. This is the house of Bhuva Punya, which means past life good karma that's due in this lifetime. So put the Bhrigu point there, you've got it. You've got some special karma that you've achieved in the past that will come in this lifetime. And possibly some of your greatest destiny and good things come through your children, because that's a 5th house matter. But another thing is your degree of creativity and imagination. You're an entrepreneur. You create things on your own, but you're given the blessings from talent from past lifetimes too, creative talent. If your Bhrigu point is in your 6th house, you might find that your destiny is to work with health and healing and helping people. That's going to be the thing that you love to do, that gives you your sense of purpose and connection in the world. Also, it could have something to do with even caring for pets or something about the workplace. You really do connect to your workers, employees, co-workers. This is a gift to you, that you enjoy your work, plus you really love helping other people, and you are so interested in helping people with their health and being healthy yourself. Exercise, training, diet, nutrition, that's your thing. So if your Bhrigu point sits in the 7th house, this means part of your destiny comes through your marriage partner or through any partner, really. Somebody that you have like I want to say an agreement with others, whether it be business or marriage or partnership, where there is an agreement, an agreed upon agreement, that will be of great benefit to you. So partnerships are very important, and it's how your destiny will come together for you, through working with others in a partnership of any kind. And the 7th house also does deal with business. So you're a good business person and business comes easy and you're successful. If your Bhrigu point sits in the 8th house, this can mean that money comes to you through others. This is your destiny, to receive wealth and money through other people. Maybe it's an inheritance, maybe it's a settlement, maybe something that comes in any way through unearned events. Even a lottery. I'm not going to put that thought out there. People go nuts when they start thinking about lotteries. Remember, winning the lottery is about as common as being struck by lightning, so don't get too caught up in that. But you will find that there will be instances where money comes to you that's like winning a lottery. Yes, but the 8th house can be difficult at times, so be careful. There can be a little bit of a tendency to move towards corruption, but this is your Bhrigu point, so this is your destiny. You have a choice. Don't choose to be corrupt. It always comes back karmically in some way, doesn't it? Okay, if your Bhrigu point is in your 9th house, then you are blessed with spiritual gifts. You are very spiritual and you connect to the divine. You have loyalty, you have faith, you have strong beliefs. And that's your destiny that guides you. Now, another thing is it could be your father or a teacher or a professor that will give you your direction that will lead to your destiny in this lifetime. If your Bhrigu point sits in your 10th house, then your work, your career, it's your purpose, and that's your destiny. You spend more hours in the workplace. You love it. It gives you a sense of purpose, and that's your passion, your job, your career, and that's your destiny. So you will be very successful with that. If your Bhrigu point sits in the 11th house, then you have the opportunity to come into great wealth, great gains. That's your destiny. Plus, friends and groups and organizations will help you out tremendously. So connect with that. You never know who you're going to meet. You know that old adage saying, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. That's what happens with the Bhrigu point in the 11th house. And you might find that possibly some destiny, good and sometimes bad, can come from an older sibling. Okay? Now, if your Bhrigu point is in your 12th house, then you will find that your destiny can come through foreign lands and countries or foreign people. Watch for that. Another thing is your destiny to relive things from the past. In other words, heal from the past is what's going to really set you up for liberation from this world. Because what is the 12th house? It is the last and final frontier and liberating from this world, which is ultimately what we're all here to do, to become self-realized and to be liberated from this earthly plane and world. Bhrigu point in the 12th house gives you an opportunity to see this truth. So that is, in essence, kind of a curse or a blessing. So it's your choice as to what you choose when your Bhrigu point is in the 12th house. So with that, I've covered all 12 houses just to give you a little inkling. It could go so much deeper than this, but just give you an idea of what the Bhrigu point is. Just think about it. It is the moon and Rahu. Rahu is our destiny and our future, and the moon is the most sensitive planet of all. It's how we feel. And so therefore, if you're talking about how you feel, that's everything. Recognize that what we choose to do in this life is we want to choose the things that make us feel good. And therefore, that is where your moon is. And the midpoint between the moon and Rahu is the destiny that will give us what we truly desire and what we want in this lifetime. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information about me or my Patreon page, go to galacticcenter.org and you'll be connected with me through Patreon or through my free newsletter. You can find that on galacticcenter.org. And remember, if you want to study with me, become one of my students, go to the University of Vedic Astrology.com. Join the university and you'll never be bored again in your entire life, because astrology is the most amazing science and will keep your mind active throughout this life. That I can promise you. So thank you.